Darkness coming round,
and everybody fighting with their brother.
Yeah, boss.
And everybody wants control. Don't hesitate to kill one another.
So come down and help us save all the little ones. They need a teacher, and you are the only one we can rely on to build a better world. A world that's for children, a world that's for everyone. Krishna ni begane baru.
Hi, I'm Leslie Lewis
I'm Hariharan,
and we are the Colonial Cousins
and you're going to catch us.
on midday.com.
Hi everybody, this is Hariharan from the Colonial Cousins, that's Les, and we are here to talk about why we are performing at Kala Ghoda, and that's going to be the topic, and we're going to talk around that topic.
So Les, and we'll also find out some more things about you.
Okay, Les, any specific reason we are doing this, apart from they invited us?
Yeah, so primarily they invited us, which is great, fantastic. But I think it's really cool because Colonial Cousins is so colonial. The place Kala Ghoda is so colonial.
Oh yeah, of course.
And it's Kala Ghoda is about art and music, and I think that's what Colonial Cousins is about. And art, and I think so. It's a great mix. But more importantly, I think you haven't performed in Mumbai yet.
No, Mumbai crowd is different, you know, and especially festival like Kala Ghoda, where there's no tickets sold. People come, walk in if they're interested.
I think that's the best
They
thing.
stay, and actually we could expect a lot of our fans turning up that day.
100%, because
That's what-
I think people are coming there because they want to come there.
Yeah, that's the excitement. Yeah, basically, you know, like, and relive the time capsule of 90s.
I know some people who can't stand that long, so they want to know, is it going to be standing or is there seating? I say, I don't think it's going to be seating. So they're actually getting chairs
Oh, you're getting shares?
because they can't stand. But they will get their chairs and they'll put it there and they'll sit somewhere in some corner, but they're coming.
I know, good.
That's
good,
the
good,
amazing
good.
part. Yeah.
We'll be singing most of our popular numbers that
Yeah,
day.
all the magical moments that we've had over the years, we try to bring it together
Right.
at the Kala Ghoda festival. So Hari, any idea, what do you think was the main reason that we haven't performed for so many years in public?
Yeah, we have performed abroad, and during the COVID, we have done a lot of online shows. That was going on, but because we were not together certain times, because you're busy in doing your own album, the White, what was it?
The White Album.
The White Album, yeah, that's an amazing album, and that took up a lot of your time.
Yeah, and I think same with you. You've also been like all over the place, all over the world, not this country, but
Yeah, and I've been, I've done two. In fact, during the COVID, I've recorded 3 albums.
yeah, I remember I came for the release of one of your albums.
one of. Then after that, there are 2 ghazal albums which I've done.
Okay.
Somehow, you know, the last few years, it has been like very happy in the studio. Of course, we go out and do our shows and all that because that's an important aspect of running the house.
But also I feel like over the years, if you really think, people think we have split up. So they feel Colonial Cousins nahi hai. So, you know, they used to be. I think that's a bit of a perception they've got.
Pata nahi
Which,
kyun.
because they don't see us as a band together. Na? Whatever the last music we've done is so long ago. And they're still stuck with the 90s. So I think that could be part of the reasons why we didn't really do public concerts.
And also, I'll tell you something. Colonial Cousins is a very popular band, but we have a particular kind of listeners.
Yes.
It's not everybody is a fan of Colonial Cousin. That's the way our music sounds. People who are into certain genres of music, classical, light classical, they love this. Because all said and done, the Indian side, the Indian aspect of our music is very, very traditional. That kind of people come.
Yeah, because I think you need to have a certain taste bud to listen to this kind of music. So if you have that, you like that kind of flavor, then you won't get this flavor anywhere else. Yeah. So those people come.
Yeah.
The rest of the people, I think they love the brand, they love the
They
look,
love the brand. They've heard about kind of
No, we got the Billboard Awards.
all that.
We
Yeah,
got the,
yeah.
You know, We are the only band to have done the original MTV Unplugged in London. So they've heard about all this through the press. So they know that, yeah, these guys are somebody.
Right.
But they're not your fans musically.
And also, the fusion is in a song format. Fusion artists who are very popular, classical artists who fuse classical music from the Indian classical music with the Western classical music. That's amazingly popular.
Yeah, that is Ragdhari and that kind of jazz scales and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But songs, they're
Songs are a little more funky.
Colonial Cousins is about songs.
So that you have a niche people who understand that, who come to us. Yeah. Maybe that's also the reason we don't keep performing.
Probably, yeah, because the whole the taste of music has also changed.
Yeah.
But I must tell you, I was in New York in Manhattan, and I walked into Tower Records and I said, let me see if I can find Colonial Cousins album. No, you want to see your album there. And I went into that section, World Music. I was looking at it. The guy who's at the counter, he says, excuse me, aren't you Leslie Lewis in New York? And I said, what? I was shocked. I said, how do you know? He says, your CD, I have sold the amount of CDs that I've sold of Colonial Cousins in Tower Records, New York at that point. He said, I know that face because everybody's buying the same CD, so I know your face.
We also had a very good sale in Germany.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Thousands of CDs got sold
in Germany. A lot of them got pirated too.
I don't know.
Yeah, I heard.
But yeah.
So people are loving the music. It's just, I think, to do concerts, you need to have the right sponsorship and the right brands behind wanting to promote this kind of music.
It goes back to the 90s and you have a good memory. So tell me where we met, how did this start, Colonial Cousins?
We were doing a jingle. You were singing for it.
You were composing?
I was composing the jingle. I was producing it and you were the singer. And those days I was not singing. I was always producing, composing, that kind of thing.
You're not yet a threat to me.
Do you really think I'm a threat to you? There's no chance. Anybody who can sing next to you. I'm telling you this because I'm digressing, but anyone who can sing with you has to be of some space. So for me, I'm in my own space. But coming back to exactly what you said now, we're waiting for the script. And remember, I picked up the guitar and I started jamming, and then you started jamming. And I think most classically trained singers will sing in one rag only or one scale only. They don't keep changing. So I remember I said, okay, theek hai bhaiya, ga raha hai, chalo. And I remember I changed it to kind of jazz.
Yeah.
And then you didn't let go. You just kept singing. And then I made it like country and western, and you're still there. And I'm saying, hey, this guy's cool. He's such a cool guy. I mean, he's singing ghazals and all that. That's cool. But this is so cool that he's singing with me. And that was actually the first, if you remember, everybody in the studio dropped what they were doing and they all sat on the floor like this. And that was the first performance actually unplugged. We did a jam, literally.
Yeah, that caught us by surprise.
It got everybody by surprise.
Yeah, we were surprised.
And at that point, I remember the phone rang and they said, oh, the script has come, and I said, oh, back to the jingle. But you said, hey, let's do something, kuch karte hain iske bare mein. So I said, fantastic. And in my head, because I was always the producer, I thought, I had somebody in mind. I thought, okay, he'll sing in English and you can sing in Hindi, and, we'll make this album, whatever that music was, that fusion thing. And you turned around and said, no, I don't want to sing with anybody.
Yeah, because
if you're going to sing, I'll sing. I said, me. Again, I'm going to sing with you.
There was something about your way of singing and expressions which I liked very much. And which I felt we could complement each other, in a song, basically.
I sang, but I was not a professional singer. So in my head, I was like, hey, I can't sing with you, bro. The Colonial, to be part of this band and sing with Hariharan is impossible. And I'm not a singer, so why do I want to get into this? Then I remember you said, I don't want to sing with anybody, but if you sing, I don't mind. And I said, you sing, I don't mind. Yeah. Then I thought about it, and I remember I asked you, I said, so why don't we form a band? Chalo, we'll form a band, then I don't mind singing with you. Then it's our band, whatever. You sing what you sing, I sing what I sing. And let's perform.
There is one reason for that also, which I realized later. Whatever we sang in Colonial, I composed and you composed. So there were two composers singing their own compositions. And when a composer sings, it's different from a singer singing.
The soul is very different.
Yeah. And that is the magic of Colonial.
So I think at the end of the day, we formed it because we loved what we were doing. And I remember very clearly, because in those days there was no live bands playing, there was no venues for live bands, there was no Blue Frog, and nothing was there at that time. So I remember we said, let's go and play live to the audience. And I think that was part of the reason Colonial Cousins got formed. And we are here to perform live again. Hey Hari, you remember how when we were searching for the name, we didn't have a name. How does this name come up? You remember?
We tried a lot of Sanskrit names, and usually Gayatri, ये वो सब ऐसा करके श्लोक सब करके Ramayan, and we tried so many things, but it was not fitting the bill.
The kind of music was not fitting. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun songs also in Colonial.
It's about songs. It's not about fusion or something.
It's not meditative or something like that. We're just thinking about it, and Les is from the ad world, so he's always has this talent and the know-how or the thinking to give names, and that basically that ad.
That was the cool guy.
Yeah. You were the cool guy. So I'm from Matunga, so I went to London, and I met my Mrs. Homji, my secretary's son there. He was there. So we were just having tea, and he said, Ravi, Hari, what do we, my Brit friends here, we refer each other as. We call ourselves Colonial Cousins. So I said, this should be it. Because it makes sense. The whole Colonial Cousin is also outcome of a colonization.
And I remember you came back from London, and after going through all these names, nothing was working. I remember he walked up and he says, hey Les, Colonial Cousins, what do you think? And I said, shit, how did you get it? I was so jealous at that point. I said, bro, this guy, how did he get? But what a fab name. And I think it rang the bell. And I think you yourself heard it when you first heard it.
Yeah, there's musical influence which has changed a lot of music in India also. And one of the bands they are called Colonial Cousins.
Yeah. So Hari, if you really look at Colonial Cousins, it's got a lot of Indian classical bass and also Western. So how do you think this comes together?
Indian classical is melody based, but you can play beautiful harmony behind it, and the sound is different. It's a third sound. The way you produce Colonial Cousins was a seamless kind of a thing. Krishna ni begane baro mukhavarna toro, Krishna ni, the darkness coming round, and everybody fighting with your brothers. It's as if like an extension of Krishna Di Begane. It's a seamless kind of a block building, which we have done in most of the songs, I would say. And even like, you tell me you love me, you tell me you want me to stay alright.
Tell me, baby, do you really want my love to feel alright?
It's just सवाल जवाब लग रहा है.
I think that's
correlated. It's not कि अभी Hindi हो गया, अभी English.
I think that's the difference between Colonial Cousins and most other bands. They kind of split the two. When it becomes Indian, it sounds Indian. When it's Western, it sounds Western. Or when it's together, it just sounds two different things working together.
And more important is the orchestration, which you thought of. It's a drums or the tabla or a dholak or anything. It was like all cousins playing.
Correct.
So it was a third element which is coming out of that, which we all enjoyed.
Yeah, I think, from my perspective, I always felt that, forget the fact that you're a great singer and all that, your backdrop into Indian classical comes from North and South. So you're not just a Hindustani singer or Carnatic singer. You've got both the elements. You grew up in Don Bosco's, so you were singing Woodstock, freedom. So the influence was there. For me, my dad has been one of the biggest choreographers in Bollywood. But he played tabla. So because classical dancers hang out with classical musicians.
They have to know.
If they don't have a classical musician, who's going to dance? Right. They need the tabla player, they need the lehra player. Somebody has to play. Some musicians are required. So even if you're doing Bharatanatyam, somebody's got to sing, and then the dancer will dance. So Zakir Bhai would come home, he would be carrying me. Proximity to Indian classical was always there, but because I grew up in St. Mary's in Mount Abu, I grew up with the Beatles, and
There was
and
fusion there.
Eric Clapton, yeah, and so all those things. When I heard you, I just felt like, hey, this is you're so you and I'm so me. Indian people, I think when we put it together, Indian people felt, अरे ये तो हमारा म्यूजिक है, कुछ अलग तरीके से, but this is our music.
Right.
And the non-Indian guy listener says, hey, I know this music, I know this beat, I know this groove, but it's so ethnically different. I like this ethnic Indian sound to it. And I think that's what we did. We put Colonial Cousins on the fence for both type listeners. We didn't do it, it just happened.
Yeah, it happened.
And that's, I think, because of who you are as you're growing up and who I am from where I grew up.
Right. Les, what are the most memorable things you have in your mind?
Yeah, there are commercial moments like being on MTV Unplugged in London. You have Seal one day, you have George Michael the next day, you have Colonial Cousins the next day. So it's amazing to sing Krishna at Billboard Awards and watch the reaction of the entire crew going nuts after saying, hey, who's this band? Hey, where can we buy your music? And getting the MTV Viewers' Choice at Radio City Hall in New York and being there. So these are, I think, all the commercial high points. But I think if I remember, we've had some fantastic moments. I think artistically, if you remember Indian Rain, you wanted to sing the full song, and I kept feeling that I should sing the English part and you should do the Deem Ta Deem. And you liked it so much, you said, but I want to sing it. And I said, no, but you shouldn't sing it because I should do it, because I was looking at it like black and white going to color as a sound. But you love the song. And then you turn around and say, but just because you're the producer, you're pushing. I'm also an equal part of the band. So I said, okay, fine. So if you want to sing, go sing. And you sang it, and I think it was the most amazing moment for me, not that I didn't know, but to realize that it's not about Hariharan or Leslee, it's about the music. You heard, you sang it, you walked in, and they says, you're right, yeah, let's not do this. you're just go with that, I think.
Right.
Because so how exciting it was for me to feel that it's not about you or me, it's about the music.
It's about what is the best for the music.
Yes, what's best for the music. Absolutely. And I think we both are like that. And that's the beauty of these moments when they pop up, they remain with you forever.
Right.
So I gave you my magical moments. What are yours?
We met some beautiful people in London who came as angels to help us in this project.
I think that was
Isn't it?
Kantaji, the whole entire lot.
We met the Dalamals there, and we just went there, and then there was Dinesh, Pandit Dinesh, who actually connected us to Adrian.
And so many.
Adrian is a person who he's a big producer, and he had a studio, and he had amazing musicians and sound recorders. And he just said, guys,
you
it's
want to
open.
record, yeah,
you record here.
And that's why we dedicate that song Adrian's Angel, because he's one of the angels that came in. So Adrian's Angel was really...
It's amazing. I mean, we met, we felt that we knew them.
Yeah, it was
within 2 days, we were just, Doug Wimbish was there, and some of the biggest wicked,
all of them, the best musicians, Talvid Singh, all.
Yeah.
Just amazing, just everyone just came together like that.
Our drummer,
Keith LeBlanc.
Yeah. Amazing. And we had chorus, backing vocals who were singing with the top acts of UK. Yeah. Very, very professional. So that's the sound which you get in the first album. It's all that.
It's a fab musicians.
It's all that.
It's great recording, and it's artistry. It's artistry from every angle.
What I mean to say that there was a blessing for the
100%.
project.
I think Colonial Cousins is a blessing. From that day onwards till now, the fact that we are performing for Kala Ghoda is again a blessing, because we look forward to it, and every time it happens, I think
we enjoy it.
in fact, one more moment I remember very clearly is we were going to New York, and we were in London, so we were in the first class lounge, and we were having a drink, and then there's this elderly man sitting there looking at us, and then he came up and he says, "Excuse me, are you guys the Colonial Cousins?" And we said, how in the first class lounge of British Airways does a British elderly man come up and say, "Are you Colonial Cousins?" So he said, yes. I said, "You've heard of Colonial Cousins?" He said, yeah. "Elton and I love your music." "Elton?" He said, "Elton John, I'm Elton John's manager."
Yeah, I know.
It's magic.
Beautiful, yeah.
So, Hari, I know you dislike a lot of things about what's happening with the music, but you also like a lot of things. So can I have your opinion on...
My philosophy about music is about creating music, what the artist wants to. That is step number one. You're doing a song because you create it and you like it. And you have to have that conviction. You are the giver. An artist is a giver and people receive it. You don't become the receiver. Artist needs this, the listeners needs this, needs that. Fine, you'll be popular, everything is fine. But you can't become an artist in the true sense. That's one thing. I can understand about the commerciality also. A lot of people concentrate on doing versions, which is good, by the way. But you have to create your own sound, your own song. What is creating music, be it vocal or be it instrumental music? Your soul is speaking to people. You're transmitting something, your energy to people. And if you don't do your stuff, where's your soul? So think about this. And I do understand today it's more important to get 1 million or 2 million, whatever, hits. But I'll tell you something. If you do good music, true to yourself, you'll get all that.
You just do the music, the rest falls in place.
Yeah, because you can't follow everything and then construct your music. You'll be popular, but that's a different kind of popularity.
Yeah, it's not necessarily being an artist.
Les, you've become very busy in social media. What do you think about it?
I think everybody is.
Yeah, even I've become.
Everybody's become busy in social media because the system has made it such that without social media, you can't reach out to the fans, you can't reach out to people about your music, whatever. They have empowered every artist to become their own record label. I think that, so they've broken it all up and everyone posts what they want because they can, because they have the right to, they make their own videos. So you are the boss of your own music and the way it is to be marketed. I think that's very different from what it used to be before, where the record label decided you might be good at music, but we will decide how to take it to the audience and how to do it. Now the artist has to invest in the music, that means recording, has to invest in the video, that means shooting the whole thing, editing the whole thing, then invest in promoting that whole thing. And how should they? So I think that social media has taken away time for you to think about music. It's just taking your time, mental space away and making you think how to get the song across to your listener. And I think that is really...
But this advice should be good, When you are producing music, stay away from social media for 6 months.
No chance.
You can't
Nobody's going to do it. Yeah, that's my point. Yeah.
So look at it. Even the thought is frightful.
Exactly. And it's a catch-22 situation because if you say, I stay away for 6 months, I lose all my fans, nobody will start following, all the ones who are following will stop. And if I keep going on, then I can't, everyone thinks that they do a lot of good music. I think they can do a lot of better music if they don't really focus so much.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, the clutter has to be less now when you create. That's what I feel. That when you're concentrating on music, but it's one of those things which has come to stay.
But unfortunately, even the big brands and everything, they want to know how many billion views you have, 10 billion, 5 billion, 10 million, 1 million. I'm saying press play. Is your heart and your ears telling you that, this thing is worth 1 million, 1 billion or no? That doesn't matter. You got the accreditation. That's all that counts. And I think for that reason, there's so much music out there that doesn't necessarily
need to be there.
Yeah, it doesn't match up with the kind of numbers it has.
Correct.
As opposed to some other music you find is fabulous, but it's not being followed as much, whatever. So social media is a necessary evil, but if you want to call it evil, because
it's necessary, whatever.
Yeah, it's necessary. I'm saying evil because not in a bad way. I'm saying it's just something that takes away from you trying to create some more music or whatever. It's just taking your mind and time away from it. Or you got to hire a team to do that for you.
What I would say is social media is not a perfect solution to propagate music.
जो दिखता है वो बिकता है.
It's easier to be alone, and it's quite tricky to be together as a duo. Because you have to be in sync with the other person. Not only thinking, like heart, soul, everything has to be in sync. And whereas musically you have to be in sync. Temperamentally you have to be in sync. What you like has to be sync. Of course we have dissimilarities and all that. But to a lesser level, which we can work on. I think whoever wants to form a duo, you should just hang out.
Yeah, you need to have an artistic relationship
that is
of liking each other and respecting each other for what you do. I think if that is not there, then
First-
there's room for trouble.
That is, firstly, you should have harmony in your musical thinking, so it kind of complements each other. And then just hang out. Don't form a band. Just hang out for some few months and just keep writing things before saying that we are a band. No. And then do one project, and if it's good, you're feeling really good, then
Yeah, then you continue, then you start looking at it. But as far as I think we are concerned, to go back and advise people, it's very difficult because Hariharan was already Hariharan at that point. Leslie Lewis was already Leslie Lewis at that point, doing what he does. But when they came together, it was for fun, for the love of music, and that's what created Colonial Cousins. Yeah. And like he said, we are dissimilar, but we are also very similar on certain. So as long as we can keep it together, we keep it together. But sometimes he wants to do his own thing, and he's doing his own thing, and I'm doing my own thing. So you're not stressed that all the time there is too much of these two guys all the time together. And so we take our space out, come back again, and we do Colonial Cousins. But to advise another generation how to do it.
So, but these are basically things that you have to look at. You have to be compatible, and
you got to be passionate. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. It's like living your life together. It's like marriage.
Yeah, it is so much. I mean, I didn't know Hariharan at all. Just, you were a singer. Today is my brother. How? Just by hanging out, by doing music.
Right.
It's not because I go to his house every day or he comes to my house every day and then we have, the families meet up and whatever. That happens whenever it happens. But fundamentally, as people, I just found a friend who's become my elder brother, who's become a guide, a mentor in his own way.
And then,
so we are both teaching each other different things. We are both bouncing off each other. And that comfort zone of loving to be with each other for the art's sake and it's not just the music.
And even at times that art also takes
it's not about
it
the
is
music.
there. It's not always about music. It's just about just hanging together and having
because
a good time.
Because he's a great guy, and I'm also a great guy. So
of course.
So he hangs out with me. No, but you got to find your respective musical partner and find that magical space, and then have enough passion to hang out and keep doing it.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.